folks, let's take a look at the news. Lots of interesting things being announced, starting with an expansion from Leader Games for Fort. So this is cats and dogs, which makes sense. It was already a game about kids building a little fort, and of course they're going to bring in their pets along with them.
Mm-hmm. It looks really cute.
Yeah, it's like a modular expansion. It looks like it comes almost in a disposable box.
It fits in the box. I know they've said that you can just keep it in the box for Fort, so...
Got it. All righty. So are you going to get this, Z?
I would, yes, I'm going to get my hands on this for sure. It looks too cute to pass up on. It looks small enough that it's something you can just throw in the box, and whenever you feel like spicing it up, add them in. I also like, from what I kind of read about this, that the dogs and the cats are kind of like the two different modules that are kind of included in this, and they each sort of give you a bonus or do something differently. I like that idea. I like splitting them up like that. It looks very adorable, and more of this artwork. The artwork for this game is already incredibly cute, but now you take that style and put it on these fluffy little things, and yeah, I'm sold.
All right. Next, we go to Z's favorite IP, Power Rangers.
Go Power Rangers!
And that's about your extent of knowledge, isn't it?
Yes, they got colors and stuff.
So, Power Rangers deck building game. This is coming from Renegade. It is compatible with the previous deck building game. Did we ever even play this game? I don't even remember seeing it. Is it out?
I don't know. I've never played the Power Rangers deck building game. I've never played one of them. No, I don't know. But this is an expansion / standalone thing.
Oh yeah, I guess it is out. The first one. Yeah, we never got a copy of it, so I don't know if it's any good or not. I haven't really heard anything about it either way. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a standalone expansion style game.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty. Then we have Turbo Sleuth. This is from WizKids. It's a real-time detective game for up to 8 players, plays in 20 minutes. You're going to be simultaneously determining who murdered Old Miser McGreedy, which is a great name.
Yeah, that's your name. Change your name.
I'm Old Miser McGreedy. I'm here to teach you all about love.
And giving. Yeah.
Well, someone murdered him, so there's that. Anyway, There's 5 cases, and it says they have dozens of possible solutions. I don't know much more about that. I am interested in a real-time thing, as long as it's not too crazy. I like the cover of this game.
I do too, and I think I like the idea. Obviously, we don't know a whole lot about this, but this seems to be kind of like... what's that game called, Tom, with the little robots? It's not Robo Rally, but the one where you're supposed to like figure out where he bounces off of the wall. Ricochet Robots, that's it. This seems a little bit like a Ricochet Robot split up among many cards, where you're supposed to like find something and then follow it to another logical point, and then follow that down, and then eventually be like, it was so-and-so, and then you show how you solved that. I think that's what that's supposed to be. It looks neat. I like that this is something different when it comes to sleuthing in a game. So I'm in.
Well, this is coming out in August.
All right.
We got some stuff coming from Haba. First of all, a game called Hammer Time. Oh my word, that's going to cause. How many times is this going to be brought out? And the dad's going to sit there and be like, dur, 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 and the kids will be like, what?
Yes.
Anyhow.
Also, that was definitely not Hammer Time, but okay.
You're right. I did the wrong tune. That's why I only did 2 notes. So get off my case.
Oh.
Thank you. All right. I'm lost now. Anyway, it's a 2 to 4 player game for 5 up, and you are filling your wagons with gems without waking up the dragon. It looks like you're hitting the box. You're trying to hit gems off the box, but I'm assuming some of the gems you don't want to come off the box.
I guess so, yeah. This is just one of those silly kind of games. You're supposed to hit it just hard enough to make things fall off of it, but not too hard. Maybe too many fall off. That's what wakes up the dragon. You know, maybe it's not specific gems, but just the number of them. I don't know. Silly, cute, absolutely. Why not? You know.
They also have a game called Inspector Mouse: The Great Escape. You are the players and guys of Inspector Mouse are trying to deduce the last criminal in the cell with the escape tunnel. Looks okay. I don't know much about this one. It looks like there's a spinning board there. Hobbit games are usually one mechanism, right? Like the last one we said they hit the thing. I'm okay with that. They work really well for kids.
Yeah, and they have very good production values. So this is another one that looks very intriguing. I don't know much about it. This is the kind of thing that if it was on a table, I'd go up to it and spin it or touch it and see what it does, just because they're eye-catching like that.
The next one, The Key, Theft in Cliff Rock Villa. This is the 4th game in this series at this point in time. I really like the Key games. In fact, I'm reviewing one this week. This was a beginner version, and it's pretty simple. There's a bunch of cards middle table. You pick a color case. You turn over cards in that case. You can turn over as many as you want and take them, but each card you take gives you points, and you want to solve the case using the fewest cards.
Okay.
I love this game. It's designed by the same guy who designed The Crew, Thomas Singh. But these are really fun deduction games.
Are they replayable also?
Yeah, here's the thing. So it's a logic game in which so I don't know how this one works, but it says theft. So it looks like there's going to be 3 people. They each stole a different item. They each stole an item using a different method of escape, I'm assuming. I see 3 different methods of escape, and they drop 3 clues or something. So you cross those out. There's a very specific answer for each color case. There's 9 color cases. But honestly, I could play the same case over again because I wouldn't remember what the combo was. You know, it's like this person with this and this per color. And I would draw different cards each time anyway. And the same card is used for multiple cases.
Okay.
So I think it's nigh infinite replayability, unless maybe the 5th time you play the red case, you're like, that's right, this number was 6782. But I wouldn't remember that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it looks nice.
All right. Luma Imports is bringing Gravity Superstar. Now, this came out from Sit Down in 2018 originally, and I really like this one because it's a game where you're moving your pieces around trying to pick up these stars, but there's gravity. So if you move off a ledge, you fall down. And then you're trying to change the direction of gravity so you can fall in different directions and pick stuff up. It's a really fast game. I really like it. I think I have it at Dice Tower Library. It's a lot of fun.
Never played that one, yeah. But yeah, Luma has been bringing now for some time. Luma Imports a lot of these games that haven't made it out here or not widely distributed. And so, yeah, this is another one that sounds like it's a good idea for them to bring. And indeed, they have another one they're bringing from Sit Down as well, right?
Yeah, this is Bad Bones. This is another one that I played, and it's also in the Dice Tower Library. It's a tower defense game where you have all these hordes of skeletons that are coming in towards you, and you're using various things to basically push them off, or if you defeat them, they go to someone else's board. So, you know, there's just this constant growing horde, and eventually they will hit your tower in the middle, but you want to be the last one standing. I like it because it's very clean and simple. There's a lot of these tower defense games are somewhat complex.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks very straightforward.
All right, then we have an expansion for Last Aurora called Frozen Steel. This is a game that you've played and reviewed.
Yeah, I like it. This is good stuff. You know, I like that theme. So very Mad Max, post-apocalyptic, frozen wasteland sort of stuff. I think you might be at I forget if this is the one where you're at the bottom of a dried up ocean or not, but you know, all these sort of cataclysmic things start blending into each other after a while. But yeah, I like this game, and so this expansion is then going to give you some modules. Love me some modules. 5 independent modules that can be mixed and matched, it says. Very good stuff.
Pandasaurus has announced Mecha Koro 2, which, by the way, will be playing live here on the channel in, I don't know, about a month or so. And this is a sequel to the original game. It's a 45-minute game. It says there's a lot of the same stuff, but a lot of different things. You're developing your own city, but there's zoning laws. You have a limited budget to pick your starting establishment. And landmarks can actually benefit your opponents. So I'm curious, like, is it Mecha Koro 1.5? You know what I mean? Where it's basically the same game, but with differences. I do like the cover a lot.
It was very similar to the previous one, right?
Yeah, I like the first cover. I've always liked the artwork of Mecha Koro.
I don't know if I would have called it Mecha Koro 2. That's my only thing. You know, I like the look. I think it's got great,
You think you would have called it like Mecha Koro A New Dawn?
Yeah, I don't know. Something else. Standalone game somewhere, but Mecha Koro 2, I don't know. I feel like it either needs to be really, really different, or it's going to get those comparisons, and that's going to hurt, or people will look at it and go, oh, 2, and I don't know what 1 is. I'm going to not get that 2 because I haven't seen 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
We'll see. I'm curious. I definitely cooled on Mecha Koro over time, but if this is a new jumping on point, I guess I'll jump on and give it a try.
Well, this is not the only game Pandasaurus announced. They also announced Trek 12 Himalaya, which I think is a redone version of a game.
Trek 12 is, I don't believe so. It's a roll and write, as it says right there. This is one I also reviewed on the channel, so you can look that up. Now, I don't know if they've made changes to this, so be aware of that and take my review with a grain of salt. I thought it was okay. It's a very simple roll and write in which you're supposed to be climbing a mountain, and it's really just sort of one of those numbers-based roll and writes. I know Mike DeLisio enjoys it. I thought it was okay. But there was also a lot of sort of variations to it. Like you could climb different mountains. You can make the game more challenging or less challenging. So it's nice to see they get a wider distribution, you know?
All right, then we have the escape room games. The escape room games genre, they're kind of pushing against the boundaries. There's only so much you can do. In fact, last night I played a mini escape room game. I turned over 2 cards in a row where I said, I know how to do that, I know how to do that, because I had seen them in other escape room games.
Yeah.
So they're trying to do something different here with this new series called Echoes. And this is from Dave Neal, who I'm not sure who he is, but Matthew Dunstan, who I do know who he is. It's a cooperative audio mystery game. So there's a free app, and you're going to listen to noises and voices that are connected to the material, looking for hints in the sound bites to bring the story parts in order and solve the case. So each part of this story is represented by an object, either a game board or a card, and its echo. And then there's 6 chapters in this story. I don't know what I think about this.
It's one of those where I just have to see it to understand and to know whether I might like it or not. Like I can't even take a guess as to whether, I might like that, or I think I might not like that. I just don't know at all. This is
I love these covers, by the way. These covers, make it look. Actually, they look like magazine covers, but it looked like there's a magazine called Echoes, and that's these are 3 different issues. Yeah. But I played escape room games before, a lot of them, and at various points in some of these games, there is audio clues. It's happened before, and every time 2 things happens when an audio clue shows up. One thing is we're like, wow, this is cool. We get to listen to something. And then the second thing is we have to listen to it 86 times because we're like, wait, what did that sound like? What was that noise? So I don't want to do that the whole game. So hopefully these are very clear sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how involved it's going to be. I don't know if there will be like obviously trickier moments and much more straightforward moments, because that's how escape room games work, right? Not every puzzle is going to be a stomper.
Right.
How do you simulate that with audio? Do you play one clip where it goes, the right key is red? And you're like, okay, so yeah, it's red. I mean, it said it very clearly. And then in another one, it's kind of like a garbled thing. How do you simulate difficulty? We'll see. I don't know. Also, the right key is the red one. We know that.
All right. Oh, you're supposed to cut the red wire. Anyhow, so there's a pre-order from Eagle Gryphon Games to get an expansion for Defenders of the Realm, the Heroes Calling, and Companions and Catacombs. And unfortunately, they did not have the same designer that does, Ian O'Toole obviously is not doing this like he does their Lacerda games. Mm-hmm. This is something that I would probably almost pass by. I love Defenders of the Realm, but man, this box is not really calling to me. But hey, there's more stuff, and that's pretty interesting because this game is I think it's 10 years old now.
I am surprised to see it getting new content. When was the last time this game got new content? I'm curious.
It's been a while.
Yeah, they had a lot of content. I know that they made quite a bit for it, alternate, characters and all of that.
There was a lot for this game. So,
but this is a nice shot in the arm, an unexpected sort of surprise.
Speaking of surprises, I wasn't expecting there to be a reprint of Jamaica. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I expect them to keep putting it in print because I know it sells well, but they're redoing it, but not much. As far as I can tell, there's two main things they're changing: the cover and the rule book, which was always the weakest point of Jamaica because they originally were like, wouldn't you like to make your rule book look like a treasure map? No.
It's a bad idea. Yeah. The rule book, they definitely should have changed. I'm very glad about that. And I think this is a gorgeous cover that puts the artwork in Jamaica front and center. My version of Jamaica is the one that has a very immersive cover, let's put it that way. Like, it's supposed to make the thing look like a treasure chest, a real world treasure chest. But it doesn't have this gorgeous artwork on the cover, right? So this sells better to folks that just want to, can just look at this and go, ooh, this is so pretty. Look at these cute little pirates. And the thing I'm really curious about, and I don't remember what this is exactly, but they're talking about here, there's only two changes: a redesigned rule book and the shortage rule, which has been changed, simplified is the idea.
Which the shortage rule basically means if you run out of one of the things, but I never did in any game.
No. Like, you mean physical amount of components? No, I think they mean if you get to a location and you're supposed to pay food to stop at that port and you cannot, then you move backwards until you can. Something like that.
Oh, yeah. That was a kind of actually, I always thought the funkiest rule was if you get something, you have to remove one of your things, even if you have more of it. Like, if I take 2 coins, I might even remove a 4-coin hold to put that 2 coins in.
Well, you couldn't do that. You couldn't put coins where coins were. You had to always make sure that you were replacing one thing with a different thing, which is, yes, it's tricky. But I'm curious. My point being, I want to go now find out what this updated rule is. I assume it can be implemented in a previous printing of the game. It should just be a written out rule update. So, but yeah, I'm glad this is in print, man. This is a gorgeous game. Very pretty, engaging, fun, lively kind of game. Check it out, folks.
All right. So apparently when you're titling games, there is a little handbook that has 50 words in it, and you need to pick some of these words. This was done for our next game called Imperial Steam.
Oh, a twofer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, are you sure? There's so many games out there with both those words in the title. Anyhow, this is from Capstone Games, and it's a train game. As I'm pretty sure it's a train game. Yeah, your own factories and trains, and I'm sure it's going to be a strategic, very well put together game. The cover looks good. I'm just laughing at the name. That's all.
It's funny that you said you kind of stole a joke right away from me because you said factory just a second ago, and I was thinking I was gonna make a dumb joke about the only way about a sequel you call it Imperial Steam Factory, and then you get 3 of those words because factory is definitely one of those words too.
Yeah,
but it's in there.
fine. I mean, I don't know how else you could fix it. I just thought it was funny that and there already is a train game called Steam or Age of Steam. So
and there's a game called Imperial on its own. Yeah.
Alrighty, now I said that, but now the next game has a very unique name. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Ariantis?
Ariantis, maybe.
Which honestly, if this is from Cranio Creations, I would have thought it was from Istari Games because there's a Y and an S in it for no reason at all. Now this is a redone version of an old game from 2000, Carolus Magnus, from Leo Calavini. Now Leo Calavini is a divisive designer. People love or hate his stuff. I'm on the hate side. And whenever you ask me about his games, taking co-designs out of the mix, because there's a few of his co-designs I like, and you said, what's his best game? It would be Cartagena. But after Cartagena, I would have said Carolus Magnus.
Okay.
But that being said, I don't think Carolus Magnus is a game I'd play at all 21 years later after my initial play of it. It was okay. It was essentially like a giant rondel. It was very abstract, moving stuff around this circle. I can't remember all the rules to it. But this cover looks good.
It was sort of like an area control type thing, and you had these sort of chunks of land, and they would merge into a bigger land. Remember that? You would take these little hexagonal things and sort of put them together, and now this was one singular larger group, and you were controlling those
Yes, I do remember that.
So now they've gone the exact opposite with the look of the game, that's for sure. This is now very cute, pastel colored, sort of sugary, sweet look and theme. The cover actually makes me think of a Small World sort of vibe is what this looks like.
Yeah, a little.
Small World has the same thing with a bunch of characters sort of crammed, kind of trying to hang on. It's got that same look. But I'm curious to try the game again because I haven't played Carolus Magnus in a long, long time as well. I want to see what they did, and I know they've made some minor tweaks. They've changed a couple of small things.
In 2017, Renegade Game Studio published a game called Flip Ships from Kane Klenko. And when we played it, we said, hey, it's basically Space Invaders, the dexterity game. And Kane Klenko said, oh, really? So he now he got the theme, Space Invaders. I believe this is Buffalo Games. Does it say that? Yeah, Buffalo Games. So I guess Kane Klenko took the rights there. So it's very similar to Flip Ships. I mean, really similar to Flip Ships. I know this because I'll be reviewing this game next week. It has this really funky catapult launcher. So when you see that catapult launcher, you hit the side of it, you hold the joystick, and then you hit the side, and it launches a disc at these cards.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like a little controller, I guess, like the top of a cabinet, arcade cabinet, right?
And then the other thing is the button. I thought that was cute. And then but it's just dexterity. These aliens are coming at you. You try to hit them. Each player has special powers that you can try to, depending on what kind of bullet you're shooting or whatever. It's silly fun. If you don't like dexterity, you won't like it because the dexterity element's very high.
That's it. Exactly.
In news that
theme here.
Yeah, I'm glad they got the rights to it because I played that Space Invaders deck building game about a month ago, and that was terrible. In news that's both surprising and not surprising, World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King is coming out. This is a pandemic system board game from Z-Man. We already saw World of Warcraft was slapped on top of Small World of Warcraft.
Yes.
Now it's being slapped on top of Pandemic, although Z was telling me that this looks like the Cthulhu Pandemic?
No. We just sort of free-form discussing that it most resembles the Reign of Cthulhu Pandemic because there don't seem to be as many spots on the board. This one also only seems to show 3 colors, and all the other ones normally show 4 colors, including the Cthulhu one. But it seems also reworked enough where I think I haven't read the rule book. And by the way, that is available. You can go read the rule book right now for this on the website. But it seems like they've gone far away enough from Pandemic to hopefully, sort of satisfy people who think, oh my goodness, really, you're putting this onto Pandemic. I think they're just sort of using some of those core mechanisms and making their own thing. That's cool. I like that. I don't know if I'll like this game. I'm not a World of Warcraft fan. I never really played the MMO RPG, so but I'll give it a try. I love Pandemic. I'll see how this goes. What about you? Is this something somehow excites you, Tom, or are you not that
It doesn't excite me. I'll play it. I'm excited on one level in the sense of, yay, I'm glad World of Warcraft people will have a good game to play, because I'm assuming it will be good, right?
Yeah.
World of Warcraft has, I don't know much about it. I mean, I played lots of Warcraft itself back in the day, Warcraft 2 and 3, but I never played World of Warcraft because I didn't want to get sucked down that rabbit hole, right?
Yeah. This looks cool. It's got some plastic minis in there. Some of the sort of larger structures are just cardboard. I'm sure they did that to keep costs down, but I always find those things a little bit lame when you're surrounded by cool detailed plastic minis and then you're supposed to build a tower out of cardboard. But we'll see if it bothers me or not in game.
All right, well, the most important board games of the year were announced a couple weeks ago, but also this past Monday, they announced the Shpieldus Jahres. That's my side note there to remind you that the Dice Tower Awards went live, but we're not going to talk about them because, well, you can watch those on our channel themselves. But the Shpieldus Jahres, which is easily the biggest game award in the world, they already announced the Dragomino won the Kinderspiel, but they announced the other 2, the big ones. And so first of all, for the Shpieldus Jahres, Game of the Year, Micro Macro Crime City won. This was the front runner, fan favorite, I think, to win, although I believe it's the first game that's won the Shpieldus Jahres that has a sort of violence in it, because there is murder in this game that you are solving. And I don't believe that's been in any of the past ones. Really? I might be wrong. I mean, Scotland Yard, you're chasing Mr. X. Yeah. But, like, this game actually depicts murder. I mean, it's right there in the cover.
That's interesting. I'm going to have to go back now and look through the previous winners and nominees and all that. Well, winners. We're saying winners. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to find that out myself. Very interesting. Obviously, it's very
because
cartoony,
I like Micro Macro, and you can play this with a family. But when you're looking through this cartoon, it's not silly stuff. Like, there's one where someone's having an affair. There's one where there's ones with
people
murder.
Are stalking people and stuff. Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, again, maybe I'm reading too much into it. They're cute little rabbits. Like, maybe there's that. I just found that to be interesting. I thought that might count against this game, but it did win.
Yeah.
So beat out The Adventures of Robin Hood and Zombie Teens Evolution. The Kennerspiel, which is their gamer game of the year, this one surprised me. Paleo. I thought Lost Ruins of Arnak had this one sewn up. Fantasy Realms, I didn't think would win because it's just a card game. Paleo is a cooperative game that I know, Z, you're a big fan of this one.
I am a big fan of this one, and I'd argue that this is also a card game, basically.
Yeah, but I'm saying Fantasy Realms is a small card game. This is a bigger one.
Yeah, this has tokens and things you sort of need to keep track of. But yeah, this is a cooperative game. This is another thing that happened this year, is that both the Spiel and the Kennerspiel winners are cooperative games.
I think we're going to see that happen more often than not, because those games just work well.
Yeah. But this is a very interesting game. Lots to explore right in the box. This is definitely now guaranteed to get expansions. Winning an award like this guarantees quite a few sales, which in turn means this is going to get expansions. And I'm all for that because I quite like it.
All righty. Well, that, folks, is the news.